Telecasting to all of our viewers across the globe, a pleasant good evening and welcome to KMTV News. Today with me, Emmanuel Davis, presenting tonight's edition of our news. In the headlines, Opposition Liberty Party accuses CDC and NEC of criminally and secretly issuing voters' identification cards to partisans outside the stipulated deadline. Several campaigners of justice, led by child rights advocate Ibrahim Keita, stormed LNP headquarters in demand of justice for the death of a child in Kingsville, number 7, Montserrado County, allegedly killed by police. World Bank and European Union donate 13 trucks to Monrovia and Pinsville City Corporation to save Montserrado from filth. These plus many other developments are packaged tonight in our news presentation. We'll take this break and we'll come back. We go straight into the news from KMTV. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us tonight on our news presentation. Let's now bring you our first development. Several campaigners of justice, led by child rights advocate Ibrahim Keita, today stormed the headquarters of the Liberian National Police in demand of justice for the death of a child in Kingsville, number 7, Montserrado County. The minor, identified as Ibrahim Tumbe, was pronounced dead at the Firestone Dusai Hospital after sustaining skull fracture and brain damage as a result of gunshot, as reported by medical practitioners during the protest. Making the case at the headquarters of the Liberian National Police on Tuesday on behalf of the group was child rights advocate and Nobel Peace Laureate Ibrahim Keita, who frowned bitterly at the LNP for the shooting incident in Kingsville.
And we've also received intelligence, Mr. 102, and in fact your appointment to the place was because the police few months ago were considered to be lenient. And your advent here is because they want to radicalize the police, to kill innocent citizens. We are well known to receive intelligence. We then listened to the trash of an investigative report from the Liberian National Police. It's like criminal investigating criminals. You cannot say that John stole a slipper and John fell who he know he sleeps with, John a first you can't investigate him. Complete contradiction. It is repeat with contradiction. So the police, they report yesterday, the first thing they report was killed by a spokesman. The first thing he said, there is a report into the investigation of an illegal protest by the residents of Kingsville. How will you begin a statement by saying the protesters in Kingsville had an illegal protest? Let me make it very clear, 102. There is no way in the world, there is nothing called illegal protest. For me, I'm a protester. People have protests in different forms and ways. So to have a police spokesman, little knowing Moses Kato, to say that the protest was illegal is unfortunate. Let me make it clear. The National Police Act of 2015, that is where the police say that when people want to protest, they must read the police, and the Inspector General will take it with the Minister of Justice. But that is police regulation. We are not police, but we are surveillance. Right? The Constitution Article 17 made it very clear that we should have a peaceful assembly. Right? So the people of Kingsville were exercising their democratic franchise. And the fact that they stood up against injustice and not evil, because they were protesting for the mysterious death of 2 kids, a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Keita, who termed the alleged act as unfortunate, said Liberia cannot be transformed if untrained men in the security sector will continue to perpetrate violence against taxpayers who taxpayers and work with impunity.
Can you imagine if the 10-year-old boy was involved? What would you have done? Can you imagine if it was estimated we are the president of the son of our president? What would you do? I believe all of you will be running around here looking for the people. You're not even saying your honor men. Your son will walk out and go run behind them and look for the murderers. But you sit in your core offices. In fact, to do investigation, you call people to come here instead of one or two or even one day himself going to the people. He said the people should walk to you. I personally transported some people from Kingsville to come here to meet you.
We are slaves.
Yes, and then I would say in the public. Right? It is unfortunate. We cannot have a police force that is made up of criminals and murderers. Former rebels, people who fought the war. They are killing us. Will this country be transformed this way? Will this country be transformed this way? How will this country go forward when we continue to kill each other? Years ago, we were in West Point, you shot Shaki Kamara. Where are the murderers of Shaki Kamara today? They are not here. They are not here. We have not identified them. You came, you listed 4 persons yesterday. They said these are the 4 persons who discharge firearms. Did you make them public? No. You will continue to shoot criminals. They must be charged in accordance with Chapter 14, Section 14.1 of the Penal Code of Liberia. They must be charged in accordance with the Criminal Procedure Law of Liberia. And we are resolved, Mr. 102, that this is the beginning of a series of protests. The young people you see here today, they will come here again. And it doesn't matter the number. So we are not going to go in there to meet 101. Every day we will protest. We will protest tomorrow. We will protest the other tomorrow. Until there are 4 criminals, gangsters, drug dealers who shot people. And the 3 suspects who are released. Is that the country we want to build? Where's Odea Sherman today? They have been begging to beg you to give justice to us when we rightfully deserve it. Odea Sherman's body is there in the mortuary. She has not received justice.
Meanwhile, an aggrieved resident of Montserrado County District Number 1, Joseph Nimler, told KMTV News today that the people of Kingsville will not participate in the upcoming senatorial by-election in Montserrado County if justice is not rendered. He at the same time cautioned government not to see protesters as opposition, neither enemies, but citizens of the country. He's been speaking to KMTV News in an exclusive interview.
In Kingsville number 7, district number 1, where I reside, the people killed 2 children there because of the government officials sent people to go do harming work. I mean, just make it simple that our people were here. And when they had to kill the children, we got angry. We went in the street to protest. Government send people there, they start to fire our citizens. They kill, I can say 3 persons because now the other people got messy. We not even see them in the place. Our relative and everybody, they are afraid of being in the street now. They see things they say, Moses Kato get up, he start telling the Liberian people that nobody die in this country. Nobody die in number 7 riot. We are not opposition, we are citizens. You are not opposition in this country again. We are citizens of this country. The president, we can see the president right now. We are going to a foreign affairs ministry right now for all to block the place, for all to come massively. We want the police to kill us. We ready the next one in the country. Let me just tell you, will be police versus surveillance. Yes. Police versus surveillance. If they can investigate, in district 1, it will not be easy. Police versus surveillance.
You are threatening national security.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Oh yes, it doesn't matter. No. And let me just be bold to the Liberian people. In district number 1, no election. There will be no election. There will be nobody. And then ballot paper they bring there. Let them bring the whole. Let them bring the army. Let them bring the police. Everybody must leave the other district and district 1 because we'll go against them. It will not be easy. We'll join on them.
You're going to resist the.
We will resist. There will be no voting. We say we're not voting. And he said, well, we're not voting. We are not going to vote. We are not going to vote. We are not voting. We not vote. We are going to leave here until Mr. President George Mane fucking Claw, Bagugbe, from where, from Franku, anywhere he ready to come to that. Until Bagugbe come to our ill.
In this whole case, what do you want?
We want justice.
Joseph Nimler is an angry resident of Kingsville District 1 in Montserrado County, calling on the Liberian government to dispense justice in the shooting incidents that took place recently in that part of the county. Well, responding to the protesters was Liberia National Police Deputy Inspector General for Operations Marvin Sako.
I want to do this. I don't think we all talk together, but we sit down and have a civil discussion. Since you got authority, you got leaders who is in charge, I will appeal. Listen to me, I will appeal because I'm hearing that you guys want to have 1 or 200 inspector generals to come and meet us. It's not here. If the one over here, just when you come to you guys. Since I'm 1 or 2, 1 is upstairs, I will advise that you get feel the leadership. Go upstairs and have a discussion. Let me make this clear. The work of the police is to protect the face, all right? Everywhere around the world, you can attest to it. This happens where you have issue with police. It happens. So we are taking ourselves to investigate our own. The first report came out yesterday, right? After that, there will be a criminal investigation. Why the police doing? So after this, they are given an opportunity to go to any criminal investigation. Then we can move forward. Okay? So we are taking if you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So I would.
Well, let's now cross from the headquarters of the Liberia National Police now and go to the Executive Mansion where President George Weah is expected to depart the country to hold discussions with his Guinean counterpart Alpha Conde. The discussion, according to Presidential Press Secretary Arsolo Kelbe, will center on improving economic activities, trade, amongst others. Mr. Kelbe spoke to Executive Mansion reporters today.
The President is expected to travel to Guinea-Conakry on an ECOWAS and Liberia mission for the state visit. They will be discussing other issues. They met briefly sometimes in Nigeria, and they were talking about some agreements between the two countries in terms of moving goods from here and there. We talk about the use of the railroad, and some of the deals will be finalized when he gets to Conakry. Try to see how best and how quickly they can practicalize those kind of agreement and memorandum of understanding that have been reached. Also, top on the agenda for discussion would be how best the two countries can have a direct flight from Guinea to say Liberia or from Monrovia to Conakry, and so those discussions and things are expected to be finalized. The government is still committed to having this national dialogue because it is in the interest of moving the country forward. The reason I'm not too sure it will take place on this because of other activities that we have. It needs such a forum needs the full participation of the executive, of all other branches of government, all the civil society organizations, and you know the preparations is very huge, it's massive, so that may be the only impediment. Otherwise, we are on course.
The Presidential Press Secretary also spoke about the arrival of guests ahead of Liberia's 172nd independence celebrations.
We are expecting, the President has invited a lot of presidents and other dignitaries to attend this year's celebrations. 5 presidents have confirmed. We hope to have up to 7, but 5 have confirmed that they will be coming down to form part of this year's celebrations. So those that have expressed the will to attend, top on the list is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. We are told his advance team should be in the country by the 15th to sort out other things. And presidents are expected also include Macky Sall from Senegal, Alpha Conde from Guinea, our next door neighbor from Sierra Leone, and the president of Cote d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara. So those are the 5 that have confirmed they're coming so far, and we hope to get confirmation from 2 other or more. We will have Ambassador Lima Bowie will be the keynote speaker, that is confirmed, and I think she's planning to probably deliver a strong message.
Well, viewers, if you just joined us tonight on our news program right here on KMTV, this is a reminder that you are watching News Today right here on our platform, telecasting live and direct from the nation's capital, Monrovia. My name is Emmanuel Davis, presenting this edition of our news. Still to come before our break, that's after our break, Opposition Liberty Party accuses CDC and NEC of criminally and secretly issuing voters' identification cards to partisans outside the stipulated deadline. We'll take this break. To be right back, please. Thanks for rejoining us tonight on KMTV News Today. Opposition Liberty Party has alarmed over what it calls secret issuance of voters' identification cards at its headquarters in Cinco. The cards are being allegedly issued to selected citizens outside the extended June 27 deadline, as announced by the Commission. Addressing a news conference on Tuesday at the headquarters of Liberty Party, Daros Delon campaign spokesman Clark Tumbe said the alleged action is intended for CDC to manipulate the electoral process.
A couple of days ago, we invited you here to openly condemn and warn the NEC against the repeated postponements of the conduct of the pending by-elections in Montserrat County with the aim of buying time for the CDC as it strives to institute their fraud machineries to rig the elections. At that same press conference, we announced the postponement of our campaign launch, which was earlier scheduled for July 8th, or had to be postponed in the face of the latest in a series of postponements by the NEC, and promised that we will inform you of the launching date if it were prudent. We would like to bring to your attention efforts by the CDC-led government to secretly and criminally prevail on the NEC to continue the replacement of voters' registration cards or issue new voters' registration cards for only people identified to be seditious, following the expiration of the official deadline for the conduct of said exercise. Yesterday, buses were packed with seditious. Buses packed with seditious were seen driving from the headquarters of the CDC and District 15 to the headquarters of the National Elections Commission for said purpose. This latest action by the CDC is one of many reasons for the continuous delays in equipping the National Elections Commission to proceed with the conduct of the elections and a part of a grand scheme to rig the elections. It can be recalled that a couple of weeks ago, while speaking at the campaign launch of the CDC senatorial candidate, Mr. Weah emphatically threatened to deprive the oppositions and the people of Montserrat County of a well-deserved victory in the pending by-elections. Do not be moved by these scare tactics and grand schemes to rig the elections, as we all will do everything possible to resist such meetings and protect our ballot papers vigilantly. Come out in your numbers on Saturday so that together we can send a shock in the spines of our oppressors.
Well, the Coalition for Democratic Change, through its national chairman, Moba Molu, told me via mobile phone today that the establishment will address that concern raised by the Liberty Party at a news conference tomorrow in Cinco. Monrovia and Painesville City Corporations have received about 13 trucks and other materials from the World Bank in collaboration with the European Union. The donation, according to the World Bank project coordinator that's the coordination officer and EU head of cooperation in Liberia, comes in the wake of the quest by the two cities for machineries in making the cities green and clean. Both Esther Rogers Garcia and Theo Caspers at the same time cautioned Monrovia and Painesville city governments to use the trucks in creating a safe environment for the people.
There's a group of donors who have been financing the waste sector for over a decade, including the EU and the World Bank. And initially our support was more of an emergency response support. Now we are at a stage where the goal of our financing is to support the development of a sustainable waste sector that can finance itself and that can operate efficiently over the long term. Recently, I want to congratulate PCC and MCC for recently preparing a 5-year plan, a financial sustainability plan that incorporates plans in terms of how existing revenue and future revenue can be contributed into the waste sector. So I think that's a high achievement. We look forward to supporting both MCC and PCC in these plans.
I would like to congratulate both cities and their mayors on the work done so far. Just to name a few of these achievements, the Painesville City Corporation has made strong efforts to fight illegal dumping and support behavioral change towards waste management. And the Monrovia City Corporation launched a pilot project leading to numbering of the houses in 10 districts and changing the waste and revenue collection system in 4 of those 10 districts. Both cities have increased the coordination with community-based enterprises to improve the waste management system and have committed themselves to increase revenue collection from waste management and waste collection rates.
Meanwhile, the two city governments have expressed commitment in maintaining and providing the necessary services for the Liberian people. According to Jefferson Koji, the need for such donation has been the quest of the city's leadership. Let's now bring you Mayor Koji and Painesville City Mayor Pam Belcher Taylor.
The key point here is sustainability. And I think that got across that all of us in Liberia must begin to take ownership. We may continue to have this kind of a support, but we come to a point that we have to walk away from such a support, that we take ownership of our own situation. And the way we do that is to multiply what has been given us. This is not the first time for the World Bank or our donor has supported and given equipment. What has been our challenge is that to maintain those equipment and be in the position to procure our own equipment. We hope now that this leadership honor the distinguished president of Ambassador George Manawia. We now must move forward. The donors must support us, but we must begin to sustain this kind of an engagement on our own.
We've come to express appreciation to the World Bank for what they have done and continue to do in helping us about this waste management. Today we are excited because these trucks will help us to do what we want to do. We have our plans, but without this equipment, we cannot make it. And today, to see World Bank coming in with these trucks, we are very grateful to them. And we want to assure you that these trucks here will be maintained and managed for the intended purpose. What we want to do is to call on our residents, all our residents. This is not only for Painesville and Monrovia authorities, but every one of us got to get involved. Because if we are getting involved, we all have to get out of our offices and get out to see how the city should be. We want the city to be clean, and we all need your support in that. But we want to thank especially World Bank for your donation. You have been intervening and what they have done, because this is my little first time, and what they have done, we highly appreciate it.
Well, Timas Hinen spoke on behalf of the Painesville City Corporation during that donation exercise in Cinco. Business group Seti Brothers Steel Factory is expected to finally be turned over after years of operational preparation. the steel producing company in Liberia, according to its General Services Manager, Siafa Morgan, will provide job opportunities for Liberians, especially the young people. He was followed by Seti Brothers Steel Factory Union, the head of the union, who noted that the continual need for such initiative is pivotal to the growth and development of the society.
Things that he can on us because we have exported steel, we have sold it, and this facility has not been here before. And for us to have such a facility here, we are grateful. And he says there are still a lot that he has to do for this country, because this country has done so much for him. Okay.
As Paul said, bringing this particular industry here. One of the main things is that it's a help to the Liberians because of the amount of people that they take it. It even help us to the extent that people were on the construction fee. They were not forced to install them, but it used to own the building. After they constructed this building, they transferred them to the company that they will not go out with our job. It takes a man to do it. It's an opportunity that he offers us. So we are very grateful, and we are really the workers of this particular area for even trying to appreciate him for what he did for this nation.
But there are people who are running some propaganda against Mr. Paul Seti.
Well, what a good news and job opportunities to be provided for Liberians, most especially the young people of this country. Well, viewers, with that, this is how we like to go home on this edition of News Today on KMTV. But before leaving you, a recap of the headlines. Opposition Liberty Party accuses CDC and NEC of criminally and secretly issuing voters' identification cards to partisans outside the stipulated deadline. Several campaigners of justice led by child rights advocate Ibrahim Keita stormed LNP headquarters in demand of justice for the death of a child in Kingsville, No. 7, Montserrat County. With that, we go home on this edition of News Today on KMTV. Many thanks for joining us on our platform. Better still, you can join us tomorrow for more news and information on this medium. My name is Emmanuel Davis, bidding you a good night from our central studios here on Camp Johnson Road, Central Monrovia, Liberia.